Okay, so we're on lesson 4 in module 4. We have one more to go today. So this one is on perimeter, circumference, and area. So I tried to find like practical problems like you would see in the real world, maybe if you were laying sod or building a circular pool or something like that. I don't know. So hopefully you can find a little bit of real life in here. I tried to make it a little bit like it. So this first one is a sprinkler problem. And so Mr. Jones has a grass yard in the shape of a square. So this whole thing is his yard with side lengths of 30 feet. So I marked that on the picture. He's installing a rotating sprinkler in the center of the yard, which will water the yard in a circular pattern, reaching 15 feet out. 15, 15, 15. So 15 is called the what again? Radius, right? So what's the diameter? 30. And before I forget, if you haven't printed your formula sheet, you might want to do that. When we gave the Module 4 test, we let students use this on the test. We're not taking the Module 4 test, so on the final, we give you all the formulas except for these 3. So if you decide to print it out, you should put stars here, here, and here. So these are the only 3 you have to remember for the formula or for the final. All the rest they will give to you. Okay? So we're going to refer to this a lot as we do our next 2 worksheets. So we have find the area of the yard. So the yard is 30 feet and it's a square. So if this is 30 feet, does everybody agree this is 30 feet? And area of a square or a rectangle is, and this is one you do have to have memorized for the final, length times width. And so that one you probably already know, hopefully. So length times width is area. So that's the first thing you should write down. Notice it always wants everything with the proper units. And remember when we were going over the last exercise, we said area is always in square units. Just like when you buy a house, you buy it by square footage. That's the area of the house. So length is 30 and width is 30 since it's a square. So 3 times 3 is 9, and then I add 2 zeros, so it's going to be 900 square feet, because it's feet times feet, which is square feet. So that would be the area of the yard, because the yard's not the circular part. The yard is the square part. Find the area of the grass watered by the sprinkler. So first we have to recognize what figure it is. The area of the grass watered by the sprinkler is a circle. So this is one you don't have to know for your final. We'll give it to you. So the area of a circle is pi r squared. So the first thing you should always do is write down your formula. And remember that means pi times r squared. And we don't put in a value for pi when they want the exact answer, but then when they want the approximate answer, we do put in the value for pi. So on this one, on Alex, they will allow you to use a calculator, or they'll give you a really easy problem. So you don't need to have your own. You can just use the Alex calculator. If we were taking the Module 4 test, I would say everyone needs their own. But since we're just doing homework, you can, use the Alex calculator. On the final, I'll either pick problems that will give you the calculator if you need it, or ones that have such small numbers you won't. So no need to go out and buy a calculator, but you will need it for next semester. So this was the one I recommended on the first day, and this will be the one I'm using throughout the video. So you can kind of take some notes and kind of watch me. And if you already have one like this, that's great. You can pull it out and use it right along beside me. Okay, so we need pi times r squared. So does everybody agree this is the radius? So it goes from the center to the outside, right? So it's pi times 15 squared. So on the exact area, pi needs to be in the formula, because the minute you put 3.14 in, guess what? It's an approximation, just like it says it is. So when I want the exact area, it has to be with the pi in it. So what I need to do for b is just multiply 15 times 15, which I already know is 225. But I'll show you how to do it on the calculator too, just so you know for later. So 15 squared, oh, I don't like that glare. Okay, well, we'll go over here. Is 15, and then see this x squared button? Hit that and it puts a square on it for you. So anything above 2, you have to use this. This is called the caret key, but the square, you can just use that. So x squared, hit enter, and it's 225. So the pi goes last, the number goes first. So we would say the area is 225 pi. This is the exact area. I didn't round a single thing. So I write 225 pi. And then I go, oh, it's area, so it needs to be square units. So then this would be feet squared. And that really bugs people to keep the pi in there. But like I said, pi goes on forever. So if you put 3.14 in place of it, then you're going to have an approximate answer. And that's when you'll do this part. So this is the exact. For the approximate, you take your exact answer and then you plug in the 3.14. So A equals 225, and when there's no symbol there, that means times, so times 3.14. So again, if it's a really easy one, Alex will just make you do it by hand. If it's a one that's kind of busy like this, they'll give you the calculator. So just use whatever they give you. So let's go ahead and do that. So I already have my 225 in the screen. So then I can just go times 3.14. So it already has it in the screen for me. So 706.5. And if you're not sure, just type it again, 225 times 3.14. And the multiplication key's there, so that's 706.5. And every area problem has to have square units. So the units are feet, so you write feet squared. And I do know on the final that you have to have answers that are exact. So remind yourself, whenever they want exact answers on a circle, they will always have pi in it, because the minute we replace pi, people think pi is equal to 3.14. It's not. It goes on forever. It's 3.141719, blah, 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 blah. So when you put that in, you've just approximated it. So don't put it in unless it asks for an approximate answer. So exact answers will always have pi. Approximate answers you'll plug in. Okay? And they're both feet squared because they're both area, just one's exact and one is approximate. So I do know that will be on the final exam, as will A. So I don't think C will, but let's go ahead, since we're at a stopping point for a second, and highlight those, because you're not going to have a Module 4 test to study for the final, so you're going to have to rely on your notes to study for the 6 or 8 Module 4 tests on your final. So those two are both on the final. So let's put an F there and an F here. Okay. Okay, find the approximate area of the grass not watered by the sprinkler. So when we found the area of the yard, does everybody agree it's all of this? The area of the yard is all of this. So if I was going to grass in the yard, it's how much grass would fill up the inside. Then I found the area of the circle. So if I take all of this and pull the circle out, isn't what's left going to be these corners? And isn't that the part not watered? So to find C, area not watered, it would be the area of the whole yard minus the area of the circle. So take the whole yard, which is all of this. Remember, area is what fills up the inside. Take out the circle, and what you have left are those 4 corners that are not watered. So now we just have to subtract those 2, which didn't we find them previously? Area of the yard is 900, and we don't need units right now, minus area of the circle. So we probably don't want the pi one since we're going to be subtracting. So let's do 706.5. Find the approximate area. So that's how you know to use this one, not this one. And when we plug that into our calculator, 900 minus 706.5 is 193.5. And it is the area of the grass not watered, so it does need square feet. So you take the area of the big figure, pull out the area of the circle. What's left is the area of the yard that is not watered. Okay. So find the circumference of the grass. So I do know we have a circumference problem on the final exam. So let's go ahead and notice again, we want exact and we want approximate. So you should be able to do both. So this is another formula you don't have to have memorized. So circumference is, I like this one. Whoops, too high, Kim. Both of these work because aren't 2 R's a D? No, but I like this one. It's just a little bit simpler. So I like pi d. C equals pi d. When we come back on the next video, well, maybe I'll tell you right now real fast. So a student taught me how you can remember the area and circumference. Cherry pies delicious. Apple pies are too. Love it. Cherry pies delicious. Apple pies are too. Isn't that the greatest way to remember? Because so many students forget which one's which. So this one wants to know, find the circumference of the grass watered by the sprinkler. So does everybody agree circumference is the distance around the outside? So we want to know the circumference of the circle. So give an exact and an approximation. So what is the diameter of that circle, by the way? That's 15 for a radius, and we add another 15 in. Does everybody agree that makes a diameter 30? Okay. So on the next video, we'll do that. So let's write diameter equals 30 feet and get ready for the next video.